Putin recently threatened to choke the West, by which he meant our economies. Though we should wonder how exactly the Russian leader is going to achieve this, it's clear that he is seeking revenge for the Western sanctions that harmed Russia. He calls it a mirror attack. Indeed, ever since the start of the war, Putin has been playing this game of tit for tat, always handing back to the West what he believes the West handed him. This is a really important point because Putin's style of warfare is scientifically underpinned by game theory, which says that tit for tat is the only winning strategy. The Western powers led by NATO appear to understand nothing about game theory and don't even recognize it in action. The Western strategy is emotional and irrational by comparison. After 80 years of relative peace and prosperity in the West, we have started feeling terribly superior about our condition. We believe, falsely, that we are both morally and technologically superior. In reality, we're just weak and effeminate. The enemy is straight and patriarchal. The feminist EU leadership's hatred for Putin and for Trump is pure hysteria, not rooted in reason. And so, the West, despite repeatedly proclaiming victory, is frequently confronted with the reality on the battlefield that Russia isn't losing. The West thought it could do a hysterical witch's dance and so manifest the desired outcome. It turns out that the patriarchal Russian laser focus on our weaknesses is no match for the comedy act in charge of Ukraine. Our media in the West often claim that Russia's GDP is about the same size as that of Spain, and so the money women of the West thought defeating Russia was going to be easy. They said Russia is just a gas station. But Russia happens to control vast resources to fuel its war efforts for at least another 100 years, whereas Spain is largely a barren land that could not defend itself against Russia for more than 24 hours. Can you guess, for example, which country is jailing 1,000 people per month for social media postings? It's the United Kingdom, not Russia. Which countries are switching back to nuclear and fossil fuels after failing to make renewables work? The EU countries, of course, not Russia. Which country has seniors fishing bottles and cans out of the trash to supplement a starvation pension? Well, that would be Germany, of course, not Russia. And which country is telling young women that they should emigrate to work in Australia as miners? Yeah, that's Ireland, not Russia. And yet, I don't want Russia to conquer Europe. I want Europe to quit acting weak. To remove this rot from our societies, we have to confront feminism. The women and their pet males in charge of the EU are never going to defeat our enemies. European men have been feminized to the point of their extinction. For example, under the influence of occult brotherhoods such as Freemasonry or Rosicrucianism, which have infected our elites with female ideals of openness, philanthropy, and cooperation. This institutional femininity has undermined our race's drive to win in unfair competitions, except dressed as women competing against girls, of course. The Russian soldiers aren't girls. They are men wearing uniforms. And if we don't make this war about the defeat of feminism, I don't see how Europe will continue to exist. What we need in Europe is a systematic cleansing of effeminacy and to rebuild the patriarchy.